This morning we are making waffles. We're getting ready to take a long trip, so I like to make some waffles to take on the go. So for that reason, I'm making a super big batch of waffles. Now, if you're going to be making these waffles at home, for this step, you're only going to need 4 eggs separated. In this bowl, I have the egg yolks. In another bowl, I have my egg whites. And if you don't know how to separate an egg, please check out the egg separating tip I posted, and I'll put a link here in the video. Also, you're going to need 1 3/4 cups of milk. But I'm making a really big batch, so I'm going to be using a whole lot more. Now I'm going to go ahead and start blending this, and I'll tell you what you're going to need next. Okay, we have our eggs and our milk blended together perfectly. Now, let me turn this off so you don't miss it. You're going to need 4 tablespoons of melted shortening. Now, I like to leave the mixer on while I'm pouring this in, just in case it's still a little warm. Remember how I told you that you needed to separate 4 eggs at the beginning? Well, that was because you've seen that we've already used the 4 egg yolks in our wet batter. Now we're going to beat our egg whites. And I'm actually going to let these egg whites beat while I put my dry ingredients together, just to save time. But all you're going to do is dump your egg whites in your mixer or in your bowl and mix it with your whisk until you have a peak. Now, I'm going to use a mixer. And I'll start off on a pretty low speed in the beginning. If you like, you could add cream of tartar, and that will help you with your egg whites. But don't do that until you're starting to notice that the egg whites are going to change. Now it's time for our dry ingredients. For you at home, if you're making a normal batch, you're going to use 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to go ahead and get my flour together. Now, before you go putting it into the bowl, let me keep in mind, let me keep in mind that you're going to need to sift all of your dry ingredients. And whenever you're going to sift your dry ingredients, here, let me go ahead and throw my 2 cups in. You want to put all of the dry ingredients into the sifter so nothing misses out, okay? I now have 2 cups of flour in here. So now I'm going to go ahead and toss in 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. That's a half, another half, and that makes 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. And also, something that's not normally considered a dry ingredient, sugar. Had to get my spoon. And I'm gonna, here we go. Sorry about that. This is gonna be 2 tablespoons of sugar, okay? And it's all gonna get sifted together. Now this is what you would use for a normal batch. I'm doing a double batch, so I'm gonna do all of this all over again. I think this is a better view of how my sifter works here. You're going to just tap the sides to get the flour off, and then sift away, literally taking seconds to get it all sifted. Way better than trying to sift through a strainer. Oops. Don't get too crazy. And you're all done. Just make sure you have all of it. Just slap those sides and get it all off of there so you don't lose anything behind. Okay guys, so now we have our wet ingredients and we have our dry ingredients, and you're going to see exactly why I always use these little cheap Dollar Tree bowls. See, they're plastic and they bend, and it makes it so much easier to get that dry ingredient into the bowl without a mess. And you're going to add a little, mix a little. That's your method. At least do 3 separate portions. Like I have this one portion, I'll do it again, then I'll do it again. Literally 3. If you have at least 3, you're doing great. Okay guys, we have our wet and dry ingredients together here, and here we have our lovely egg whites that are whipped to perfection. All we have to do is fold them in, okay? So we'll put in some egg white, literally fold, okay? Just fold it in just like that until you're done with the whole bowl of egg white.